Before diving into this incredible story, remember to subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications. Here, every story has something to say, and you won't want to miss a single one. The racist staff laughed and mocked the black delivery driver, not knowing he was the owner. The sun was slowly rising over Atlanta, bathing the skyscrapers in a golden light. On streets still damp from the previous day's rain, an old white van moved silently forward. Behind the wheel was Marcus Brown, a black man in his 30s, driving toward a luxury restaurant called the Silver Fork. From the outside, everything seemed perfect. The marble facade, the large, spotless windows, the smiling valets, everything exuded success and prestige. But Marcus knew that beneath this elegant veneer lay a darker reality. He switched off the engine, remained motionless for a moment and looked at his reflection in the rearview mirror. His gaze was calm, but deep, imbued with a silent determination. That morning, he wasn't just a delivery man. He was a man on a mission. Because Marcus Brown was not what he seemed. Behind his modest clothes and old truck hid a successful entrepreneur. A former soldier, he had worked hard, often holding down 2 jobs at once, to build his logistics company. Year after year, he had saved, invested, and eventually bought several restaurants across the state. And the most recent one was precisely the one he was standing in front of, the Silver Fork. But Marcus had not presented himself as the new owner. He had decided to arrive incognito, as a simple deliverman, to observe, to see how his staff treated those they believed to be inferior. He had heard rumors, inappropriate remarks, contemptuous behavior towards employees from minority groups, a climate of superiority and false politeness. Marcus wanted to see the truth with his own eyes. So, that morning, he put on a gray polo shirt, a worn cap and work gloves. He personally loaded crates of fruit and fresh produce, which he would deliver under the name of his former company. Brown's Supply Company. When he pushed open the door of the restaurant, a smell of coffee and warm bread enveloped him. The tables shone, the customers whispered, the waiters moved with an almost mechanical elegance. But the looks. The way people looked at him changed as soon as their gazes fell upon him. Some regarded him with indifference, others with contempt. And Marcus immediately sensed what he had come looking for, the naked truth, the one that the superficial smiles could no longer hide. He took a deep breath and thought of his mother, who always used to tell him, "Marcus, don't fight to be accepted. Fight to be respected." That day, he was going to follow that advice to the letter. But he had no idea yet that the lesson he was about to give would disrupt far more than just careers. She was going to shatter certainties, humiliate arrogance, and restore human dignity to its rightful place. The restaurant The Silver Fork was already full that morning. Businessmen, elegant couples, hurried waiters, everything seemed orchestrated like a play where everyone played their part. But when Marcus Brown walked through the door, the scene changed abruptly. Her still damp shoes left small marks on the immaculate floor. He had barely taken 3 steps when a dry voice rang out behind him. "Excuse me. Deliveries go through the service entrance, not here." It was Chloe Anderson, head waitress, a young blonde woman with a haughty air. She placed her hands on his hips, scrutinizing him from top to bottom as if his presence were soiling the room. Marcus remains calm. "I was told to deliver directly to the counter," he replied politely. She sneered. "Really? And who told you that? The imaginary cook?" "No, madam. I was called this morning about that." A waiter, Ethan, approached, snickering. "Oh, leave him be. He probably just wants to enjoy a little luxury before heading back to his truck." The two exchanged a knowing look and burst out laughing. Marcus felt his stomach clench. He had experienced racism his whole life, but each time he hoped things would be different. And each time, reality proved him wrong. He breathed slowly, calmly set down the 2 crates he was carrying, and replied, "I don't want to bother anyone. I'm just doing my job." But Chloe insisted, annoyed. "Your job is to go around the back. Do you understand? This is for the customers and the people presentable." The word resonated within him, presentable. He lowered his eyes, not out of weakness, but to conceal the storm that was brewing behind his apparent calm. An elderly customer, sitting nearby, watched the scene. She frowned, shocked by the waitress's tone. "Young lady," she said softly, "this gentleman does not deserve to be treated like this." Chloe turned her head away in irritation. "Madam, I manage the room. Let me do my job." Marcus gave a bitter smile. Even when they were shown where they were wrong, they refused to see it. He grabbed the crates and slowly walked towards the kitchen. Behind him, he heard another mocking laugh, then Ethan's voice. "Honestly, these guys think they can get into anywhere now." The words struck Marcus like arrows. But he did not reply. He knew that soon their laughter would turn into silence. Because if they thought they were mocking a simple delivery man, they were still unaware that this man they despised now owned every wall, every chair, every plate in this restaurant. And he fully intended to teach them that respect has no color. Marcus pushed open the swinging kitchen door, and immediately, a moist heat and the smell of melted butter enveloped him. The clanging of pots and pans, shouted orders and hurried footsteps gave the place the air of a battlefield. In the background, a man with an imposing build was giving instructions in an authoritarian tone. It was Brian Keller, the head chef of the restaurant. Known for his culinary talent, but also for his arrogance and contemptuous remarks. When he saw Marcus, his eyebrows immediately frowned. "Hey! What are you doing here?" "Deliveries go in the back." Marcus replied calmly, still in that polite and controlled tone. "I was asked to drop off the products here, boss." Brian took a step towards him, wiping his hands on his apron. "Chef, don't try to be funny, buddy. I'm the boss here, and you're just here to put down the crates and clear out. Got it?" The clerks around them exchanged amused glances. Some stifled laughter. One of them, a young white man named Kyle, whispered. "You'd think they'd send just anyone now, even to make a delivery." Brian, hearing this, laughed heartily. "Yeah, at this rate, soon they'll be coming to teach us how to cook, huh?" Laughter erupted. Marcus remains impassive. His gaze slid slowly around the room, observing each face, each reaction. He wouldn't forget anything. He placed the crates next to the worktop, then took out a folded invoice. "Here is the delivery note. If you could sign here, please." Brian took the paper, quickly scanned it, and said ironically, "You're lucky we're still accepting your products. We usually prefer suppliers who are a bit more professionals." The word landed like a slap in the face. But Marcus remained silent. His mother had taught him, the silence of a wise man makes more noise than the anger of an ignorant one. So he simply smiled and said, "Very well, sir. Have a good day." He was about to turn on his heel when a young employee, Samantha, approached discreetly. Petite, brunette, with gentle but nervous eyes. "Excuse them," she murmured. "They're not always like that." Marcus looked at her kindly. "Don't worry. These kinds of moments simply reveal who people really are." She lowered her eyes, ashamed. If only the owner could see how they behave when he's not there. Marcus gave a slight smile. "Oh, believe me, he'll see everything." But she did not understand the double meaning of his words. As he left the kitchen, the laughter started up again behind him. Whispered words, stifled mockery. To them, he was just a passing deliverman. But in a few hours, they would discover that the man they despised held their future in his hands. And that their laughter would turn into supplications. The following morning, an unusual tension hung over the restaurant. At 8:45 a.m., all employees had received a message from the manager. Urgent meeting at 9 a.m. sharp. Attendance is mandatory. The new owner will be there. Conversations were flowing freely. In the main room, Chloe nervously adjusted her hair, Ethan joked to hide his stress, and Chief Brian paced impatiently. "I hope he's a real businessman, not one of those investors who think they know everything," he muttered. No one knew what to expect. The restaurant now belonged to an outside company, and no employee had yet met the owner. They all imagined a rich, middle-aged white man, probably snobbish, like most of the former bosses. At precisely 9 a.m., the lobby door opened gently. A silence fell. A man entered, dressed in a perfectly tailored black suit, white shirt, and gold watch on his wrist. He walked confidently, his gaze direct and steady. Marcus Brown. Chloe recognized him immediately. Her heart skipped a beat. Ethan, pale, took a step back. And Brian, frozen, remained with his mouth open. It's him, the delivery man," Chloe murmured. Marcus calmly walked towards them. He placed a briefcase on the table, opened it, took out some documents, then looked up. "Hello everyone. I am Marcus Brown, the new owner of the Silver Fork." The silence became heavy. Each word seemed to fall like a thunderclap. Marcus paused, then scanned the room. "Yesterday, I came here as a simple delivery driver. I wanted to observe your behavior, your values, your way of treating people. And what I saw deeply disappointed me." Chloe tried to speak, panicked. "Sir, I didn't know it was you." Marcus stares at her, impassive. "Exactly. You didn't know. And that's the real problem. You should never have needed to know who I was to respect me." The tone, calm but firm, chilled the entire room. Even the cooks, who remained at the door, no longer dared to breathe. Ethan, in a trembling voice, tried in turn. "We were just joking around, it wasn't anything malicious." Marcus frowned. "Nothing bad, humiliating someone because of their color, their job or their appearance, is that your idea of humor?" He approached slowly, each step echoing on the ground. "You treated me as if I were inferior. You laughed in my face, in front of customers, without even a hint of shame. But today, the roles are changing." He turned to Samantha, who was observing the scene from a distance, her eyes wide. "And you, miss. You were the only one to show a little respect yesterday. I haven't forgotten your attitude." Samantha lowered her eyes, moved. "Thank you, sir." Marcus nodded. Respect is the first wealth of a human being. Those who have forgotten it will have to learn a lesson they are not likely to forget. He closed his briefcase with a sharp gesture. "From today onwards, I want no more contempt, no more mocking laughter, no more discrimination in this restaurant. The Silver Fork will become a place where dignity will be served with the same care as the food." Brian finally dared to speak, in a hesitant voice. "Mr. Brown, we made a mistake. We didn't mean to disrespect you." Marcus approached him, then calmly replied. "No, Chief Keller. You didn't disrespect me. You disrespected yourself." Silence fell again. And everyone understood that nothing would ever be the same again. A heavy silence reigned in the restaurant. Each employee avoided Marcus Brown's gaze, fearing what would happen next. The truth had just hit them, brutal and irreversible. The delivery man they had despised was their new boss. Marcus remained standing in the center of the room, arms crossed, observing each of them like a judge ready to deliver his verdict. His calmness commanded more than any shout. "I spent years working to earn my place," he said in a firm voice. "I have never needed to put someone down to feel superior. But yesterday, I saw people here behaving as if dignity depended on a uniform or skin color." He turned slowly towards Chloe. The young woman, pale and trembling, didn't know where to put herself. "Miss Anderson, yesterday you humiliated me in front of the customers. You laughed at me, without even asking yourself if I was a human being with a history, a family, a heart. Today, I will not humiliate you. I will do what you should have done from the start, I will simply free you from this place." The words fell like a guillotine. Chloe brought a hand to her mouth, tears welling up in her eyes. "Mr. Brown, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to." Marcus shook his head. "Apologies don't erase the wounds inflicted by arrogance. You have a lesson to learn, and sometimes life teaches it far from here. You're fired. She left the room, her face covered in tears. Marcus then turned to Ethan, who remained frozen, unable to speak. As for you, your racist jokes and mocking laughter did not escape my notice either. You are fired, too. Respect is not negotiable. Ethan lowered his head, ashamed, not daring to answer. Then Marcus approached Chief Keller, who until then had been the loudest and most contemptuous man of all. Chef Keller, you've been running this kitchen for years. You know that true leadership is measured by how you treat others. Yesterday, you proved you don't deserve that title. Brian swallowed hard. Mr. Brown. I admit my mistakes. Give me a chance, just one. Marcus stared straight into his eyes. You should have thought before judging a man by his appearance. You are leaving this position as of today. Then he turned to Samantha, the young employee who, the day before, had been the only one to speak to him kindly. Miss Miller, yesterday you chose compassion over contempt. You will now be the new head waitress. Samantha remained frozen, tears in her eyes. Me? But I'm just a simple waitress. Marcus smiled. That's what you were yesterday. Today, you are living proof that respect and kindness always open the right doors. The entire team, still in shock, watched the scene in silence. Marcus turned back to them and concluded. Listen to me carefully. This restaurant will now have a new identity. I will never again tolerate an employee being judged on their skin color, accent, or origin. Here, everyone will be judged on their work, their honesty, and their heart. He paused, scanning the room with an intense gaze. Yesterday, you laughed at a black man, thinking he was nothing. Today, that man is the one who signs your paychecks. Remember this well, respect is not demanded, it is earned, and it is given to everyone. The staff remained silent, deeply moved. Some lowered their eyes in shame, others nodded their heads with emotion. And on that day, the silver fork changed forever. Contempt gave way to humility, fear to gratitude. Marcus transformed the restaurant into a place where dignity and equality reigned above all else. Samantha walked beside him, moved, as he observed the sunlit room. You know, Mr. Brown, you've done much more than just take over a restaurant. No, he replied, smiling. I simply restored to this place what it had long since lost, its humanity. And as the morning light flooded the room, Marcus Brown turned the page on a past of contempt to open a new chapter, one of respect, justice, and restored dignity.